Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Darkness in Odessa. Um, Tonight, after a squabble at the tavern, Memnon is returning home to his small dwelling in the Merchants Guild, and he is going to take the time to get to know his new tenants, as he has some ideas in mind that would make them more useful and, well, better their lot together as a whole. And as he comes to his haven, he steps in the door, and well, does he find his people there?
You see, yes, Gawain is there, and his wife. They are uh, they're having what looks to be a small meal. It looks to be very basic, meat and potatoes. It doesn't look like very good meat, kind of maybe a couple days old meat, but it's food, and that's all that really matters, really. And as you enter inside, uh, Gawain gets up from his seat to uh, walk over to you and clasp your hand. Hello, sir. How are the knights treating you, sir?
Trying to hold an inner smile as the little debacle that occurred down the road. It's treating me well, Gadwain. How was your day at the forge, sir?
Ah, sir, you will not believe how wonderful it is, sir, to be able to use these hands again. It has been quite rough to make the materials again, but old habits, sir, like a horse, you just get back on and eventually it comes back to you. That is how it is with me. I am again returning to my craft.
That is good. I just wanted to sit down with you and your family. Us being, well, bonded by mutual enterprises. I'd like to make sure that the moneylender is paid off, and paid off soon and well. So, let me ask you a question, if you don't mind. Would you mind letting your lady put to work so she can help lift you and yours out of this debt we've incurred?
uh, Gawain looks at his his wife, and she nods very not affirmatively, somewhat demurely, I guess I would put it. And he goes, "Yes, sir. She was a farmer's daughter before uh, marriage. She is a stout woman. I'm fairly certain, sir, that she can assist in some way or the other."
That is good. Would you mind if I had a word with her?
Uh, he simply, shakes his head to allow you to talk to her.
Um, I imagine there's some kind of furniture there. You said that they were sitting down to eat.
Yes, simple uh, wooden chairs, that sort of thing.
Um, he'll take a seat and ask, Sophia to sit down if they didn't stand up already. So that's how I imagined it in my head. Um, he'll say, Sophia, you are the lady of the house for all intents and purposes. And I know that you will keep a clean house and make sure that meals are on the table. I'd like to help you be reintegrated with finer society. I'm sure after all the troubles and what the city has gone through, it's been a long time since you've had a chance to appreciate the life of a married woman to such an industrious and loyal husband. So I would like you to possibly network with some of the women folk here in the neighborhood, or perhaps some of your friends if you had some back in Riverside. Invite them over for a meal. Let them see what good fortune has come your way. Of course, not to make them jealous, but perhaps to give them hope.
Uh, as you as you speak of that, uh, she goes, "Don't have many friends in Riverside, so the people there tend to keep to themselves, and none of the people that I know live in Odessa. Most of them live in Acre or Jerusalem, or the outskirts of them at least."
Hmm. Memnon would ask, are you a shy person, Sophia?
She shakes her head. Uh, no, not exactly. Uh, she kind of messes with her hair a bit as she says that. Uh, where I live, there weren't as many people. I guess is how I would say it. I'm more used to the people where I was from than here in Odessa, I guess. But I'm certain I could find someone, perhaps.
Hmm. Yes. Yorn is young, and it may be time soon that he takes his wife, takes a wife. I would very much appreciate it if you would find him the right type of woman.
She chuckles a bit as you say that. Like, well, he is the son of a smith, after all. I'm certain there is someone who would find him a worthy suitor.
Um, Memnon, he kind of now comfortably a little bit in conversation. He'd get up and pace around the room as he speaks, and he'll ask Sophia, "What are the needs you and Gadwain have?" I know that once you arrived here, there wasn't much you brought or much here for you. I can see about facilitating your accoutrements.
She thinks for a moment. She goes, I'm not entirely sure, sir.
Hmm. Um, just from looking at Sophia, how is she dressed?
Very much like how it is in the picture. Maybe not as nice looking. There are obvious kind of stitchings and kind of patchworking upon her dress. Obviously, an outfit that she has had to repair many times.
Hmm. Um, okay. And I'm going to say, oh, you said that you have experience as a farmhand. You are familiar with commerce of produce, goods of that nature?
She nods. Yes, my father and I mostly did wheats, hearty, hearty grains, some cattle, or I believe some of the people where I lived also had goats as well. Goats seem to thrive very well in this place.
Very good. Very good. If you, when you do have the chance, and if you need, you can bring Geppetto with you. I hope you aren't scared of mules. Perhaps you could go to directly to one of the farmers and offer them that a smith in town is willing to some fresh produce you can stock the house with. In exchange, I would sharpen and work on their farm equipment for them if they would be interested.
She nods and goes, "Yes, sir, I can certainly see if it is possible to do so. But, sir, if I may, I've heard some rumors about the farmlands. That makes me she kind of looks to Gawain and she goes, rather uncomfortable to go there on my own.
I see. Well, if Gadwain would allow me, I will escort you there myself. My knowledge of commerce mostly centers around the craft he and I ply. I do not know the measure of a horse or a mule from a cow or a pig.
She nods. Certainly, sir, I will. We will. And she looks to Gawain. We will do our best to repay you, sir, for all the kindness you have shown us.
He tries to force a smile. Ah, do not worry. I do have plans for the both of you. I have very little friends in Odessa, and friends there are similar, united. They can achieve great things, and I do have plans for great things in store for all of us.
She she nods at this. Yes, I understand. Gawain puts his hand on her shoulder and he goes, "What my wife says is true, sir. There have been a few men have come to the forge asking for uh, decent plating armor from what they have told me, sir.
Is that so? Do you know who these men were? Were they men of the watch?
He uh, goes, well, sir, if they were men of the watch, I fear for Odessa's sake. These men looked these men looked more like monster hunters or something of that nature, mercenary men from the looks of them.
What hour did they arrive at the forge?
He I'm getting a lot of static. I wonder if that's me. Might be.
I hear some background noise from you, but I don't hear static.
Hmm.
Hear to my mic as I speak?
Yeah, I think that'd be okay. Because I can't hear it now. I think maybe it was just the way the. Anyway. Uh, Gawain says, Well, I would have to say about close to the witching hour. About, well, close to 12, I believe, midnight. I was about to close up shop when they said they needed things made, and they barely paid for the items 2 days ago.
Hmm. And you feel that they undercut you.
Uh, Honestly, sir, I don't believe they did. Uh, the money and such is in a what you would call a wretch, kind of like a chest during that time and such. And he opens it, and you do see some like very large like amounts of bags, like of gold bags. Uh, let's see, standard piece of planar 20 gold. You see like at least 200 to like almost 300 gold pieces
Mm-hmm.
altogether in those bags. So a very hefty amount, uh, and that he continues. And they got new swords and everything. So it was as if these men were going off to war.
You know from whence they came.
They, some of them, said that they were from Edessa, and others told me not to ask them where they came from. Honestly, sir, with the way that they looked, I did not repeat where they had come from. He does. He does go. One of them gave me. Uh, One of them did say the reason why they were getting all these pieces, all this armor and weapons. And he said, Gawain says, they said they were going after some monster.
Um, if you want me to roll a manipulation subterfuge, Memnon is going to try to play it off like, ha, let them chase their shadows.
You can certainly do so. Which roller are we using?
Um, which one would you prefer?
Let's go with 3. I don't think anybody's using it. Not a lot of people use 3, so we just use that one. That'll be fine.
Six. Yes.
Uh, okay, please. What does Memnon say to them with your manipulation subterfuge?
Um, he says essentially, he's kind of like mocking the idea that they're really going after monsters. Um, he's trying to hide his own concern. So yeah, he essentially says, "Ha, let them chase these shadows and phantoms if they fancy, whatever it will lead them. If they want weapons, well, we'll make it for them, and we'll take their gold happily."
He nods. Yes, sir. But it just struck me as a very just a very odd thing, to say the least. But there are men out there that believe that there are still dragons about and other such things. I mean, the devil moves and tempts the very souls even now and in this world. So perhaps such things exist. I don't know, sir. Uh,
Well,
kind of stammers.
mhm. Memnon would say, be assured that if such things existed, they would need far better weapons than what we could supply them with. Although your concern is noted, these men have been confused of their quarry, mistaking their common malady for a mark of devil. Shame. We should, I suppose, be cautious in who comes to buy our wares. It would not do well if we started arming rabble hordes that would may perhaps turn on us someday. If these men do return, be friendly with them. Ask them questions to probe, perhaps gleaning any information you can about them.
He he nods at this. Yes, sir. If uh, if any of those men do return, I will, of course, inform you, sir.
Did you leave our mark upon the weapons? Out of character, Smiths tend to leave marks. I'm not sure if they do time in that area of the world.
Uh, I would say probably. I would say probably. And he goes, "Yes, sir. I left your mark upon them. So if anyone were to ask where the weapons were made, they would know. But I think most, if they were set upon by someone to steal their armor, I don't think they would really care what the symbol was."
Very true. Very true. But speaking of these silly superstitions, are you and Sophia learned to read?
Uh, they both nod, if ever, like kind of slowly, like, "Yes, sir. We are learning decently. Perhaps my wife here far more, since she has so much more time to read than I do."
He'll look at Sophia with an approving nod. It is good. I hope you won't mind your boy learning too. These days, a boy's mind is far more superior than any steel.
They they nod their heads. Of course, well, it is the time of our son to learn a craft, and smithing is a viable craft.
Yes. Which reminds me, Sophia, while I'm sure that you will have many duties, as I've laid out many suggestions, you could show your boy in his pastime, perhaps, how to care for Geppetto. Just make sure he is fed and well brushed.
They uh, they nod at this, and they go, "Yes, sir, we will make sure that he is taken care of, especially, sir."
Very well. Um, he'll he'll ask Sophia again if there's any new kind of trade some kind of skill with her hands she would like to learn, and Memnon offers, perhaps he can find someone to teach her or the right books that she can learn from.
Uh, would say essentially anything that would help uh, benefit uh, the family. I think would probably be something. Maybe a children's story or something for their son.
You said a
I think
children's story?
yeah, like a book, like a children's book or something like a. I'm fairly certain there were books like that in that time frame.
Like fairy tales and things like that? Yeah, I'm sure.
Yes, yes,
Poems, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Um, and nods, approving, and yes, I'll see what books I can acquire towards that end. Um, and yeah, he'll just kind of try to, and I'll make another roll if required. He'll instruct them that during the day he makes his quote unquote meditations and prayers. He's not to be disturbed, but in an emergency, go grab urine and know what to do.
yes, very much so.
Um. Oh, no. One more question. Looking at the boy, I remember last time you mentioned he had some scars from the plague.
Yes.
Um, like how bad is it? I know he's a kid and he's probably gonna be like on the range of cuter, but like how bad are the scars?
Uh, I would say that well, with the way that such things are, uh, they look kind of like splotches, not like all over his face or body or anything like that. You do see uh, the markings of where the plague had was upon him, like under his like around his lip, from like kind of like a little bit of his chin to his lip, on his arms, very sparse marks.
Okay. Um, he'll say as he like pats the boy's head, poor lad. He'll overcome those scars someday. Just like playing it out.
The boy is the boy simply nods. He is still a little bit weary or wary, I should say, of the thing of this thing. So he is as children are, I guess, as I would put it.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I guess with that, Memnon would uh, bid them a good evening. He'll inform them that he's just gonna go to the forge and set up for Gatwain tomorrow, as he finishes off any projects that they have.
Yes,
And
and
mhm.
no, yeah, as you walk out, uh, you just give me a perception alertness. Hopefully, this picture that I want will appear.
Sure. Um, would my acute sense of sight come in play?
Yes, it is. It is going to be a sight orientated thing.
Diff 5, I would take it.
Yes.
Success.
Yeah, you get one. As you don't essentially you don't really notice it right away. And it's kind of nestled in a small little kind of nook. But you see a paper that kind of flutters, and when you get it, you see it is a wanted poster with a design on it. The design, it kind of looks like this,
Mm-hmm.
and it says on it, "Wanted Beast Slayers," and kind of down on it, written, describes that there have been rumors of a large kind of dog-like monster that has been attacking attacking travelers from essentially in the places near Edessa and the other city of Timoran. There have been loss of cattle, animals, people have gone missing. Uh, Basically, just saying, any able-bodied man who wishes to protect their families, and the reward is a fairly like a large amount of gold, like
Ooh, ooh, nice.
uh like essentially like it's like 1,000 gold,
Mm-hmm.
which is a shit ton of money in that time.
Right, right, right. Um, I would definitely pursue that. I mean, that that depends on you if you even want to run that. But then I will take the note, and he will be very much intrigued. As much as he enjoys working the forge, there is a warrior's heart underneath the apron.
Yes. With that, as Memnon takes the wanted poster, I believe that is where this little scene can come to its end.
Thank you, everyone, for watching and the players playing. We will see you again.